Good morning, Heptagon. It's Thursday. So yesterday, Name, you talked about free will and why it exists. And I tend to agree with most of your points. However, I do also tend to agree that determinism exists, unlike you, who called it, and I quote, feces of a male cow that is scurrying around. Our good friend the commenter, who is probably watching this video right now and going, free will doesn't exist anymore, blah blah blah. He's been busy typing away at comments, and I'm going to reply to some of them in this video, because I think that he deserves a proper video because he is commenting so much and putting forth some really quite excellent points.
Making videos happily on Nerfateria Island, on Nerfateria Island.
So, on your video, he has commented, free will is the freedom to make choices that are free of factors over which we have no control. A good way to understand why we don't have free will is to realise everything has a cause, and the causal antecedents to every decision regress back to before we were born. I like your definition, but I disagree with it. Free will is the ability to make choices. It's not the ability to make choices that are free of factors that we can't control. By your definition, there is absolutely nothing as free will, which is perfectly fine. It's what you've been arguing, so at least you're consistent. Well, however, I think my definition, and I think Name's definition as well, I think he'll back me up here. Free will is simply the ability to make a choice, and only to make a choice, regardless of any factors. So, for example, I cannot choose to simply sprout wings and fly to California, because I do not have the genetic information in my body to create wings. I do not have the energy required to put into the muscle production of the wings, and I don't have the right body to weight to power ratio to fly. I can choose to get out of bed whenever I like, because that is within my physical capabilities as a human being and as a lazy teenager. He also replied to you, Name, in saying this. Yes, but there will be a cause to our causing something, and a cause to that cause, and a cause to that cause, and again, this causal regression will span back to before we were born. So while we are a link in a causal chain, we are never the originators or authors of our decisions. Now that I disagree with. And I'm going to tell you why I disagree with it. The way you have phrased it, my dear commenter, implies that there is simply one cause to one effect, and then that effect becomes another cause to another single effect. It's not so much a chain, it's not a linear progression of cause and effect, it's a really complex map of causality. There is a cause that may go to several million events. There is an event that may be the cause to several million other events. We simply cannot tell what cause will cause what event. So this means that, in my view, when we are standing at the cause, we have to choose, potentially, only a few events to base our decision on. We do not have the full picture, and we never will have the full picture unless we become omnipotent beings. Which means that it's not so much following a chain of events as navigating a map, in my view. Yes, we may all end up going in the very same direction, but it doesn't mean we can't take detours. And most of us probably will take detours. A lot of us, put in the same situation, will choose wildly different methods of doing something. Because that's who people are. People are different. They have different structures of their brains, they have different personalities, they have different ways of thinking. They are individuals. We cannot tell if one cause given to a person will cause the same effect all the time. It's just, we can't. And that's why I think free will on a human level exists. However, free will on a scientific level does not exist. What I mean by that is, if I drop this pen, I do not have a choice about what it will do, because the law of gravity dictates that it will fall to the ground. Or I can just throw it at the camera. That failed epically. So, scientific determinism, ignoring quantum effects, is a thing. But then, as we start stepping up the scale, from physics to chemistry to biology, at the biological level, we start having sentient beings. And sentient beings are capable of making their own decisions. And that necessarily implies free will, or at least the illusion of it. And then when we get up to psychology and sociology, then we just have free will everywhere. Free will, or at least the illusion of it, is real. I'll see you next week.